Welcome to this immersive exploration of the book of Deuteronomy, where we stand together upon the threshold of the Promised Land. Today, we shall witness the profound finality of Moses' leadership as he prepares a new generation for their monumental inheritance. Prepare yourself to enter the narrative of a covenant that shaped the destiny of an entire nation through divine law. This is the sacred moment of transition from 40 years of wandering to the glorious threshold of a promise. Every word spoken here carries the weight of eternity and the hope of a people reborn in the crucible of the desert. We are about to embark on a journey that spans history and eternity. The sun hangs low over the shimmering plains of Moab, casting elongated shadows across the countless tents of Israel's massive assembly. Moses begins his final charge by looking backward at the 4 decades of struggle and divine provision that brought them here. He recounts the departure from Mount Horeb and the tragic failure at Kadesh Barnea, where a generation lost their hope. Yet, he also celebrates the recent victories over the kings of the East, proving the Almighty's hand is still active. This historical review is not merely a record, but a lesson in the absolute necessity of trust and obedience. The desert was a school of faith, and now the graduation ceremony takes place at the edge of Jordan. Every trial was a refining fire intended to forge a people worthy of the holy land they possess. Moses calls the congregation to remember the day they stood at the foot of Mount Sinai, where the mountain burned with fire. The voice of God spoke from the darkness, delivering the 10 Commandments as the moral bedrock for their new civilization. These 10 words are not ancient relics, but living principles that must be etched into the very soul of every person. He emphasizes that the covenant was made with those standing alive here today on this monumental threshold of history. The holiness of God requires a corresponding holiness in the people, a separation from the destructive practices of others. To follow these statutes is to choose the path of life, while ignoring them invites the chaos of the wilderness. The echoes of Sinai are the eternal guardian of their future freedom and spiritual integrity. Every soul is called to a higher purpose within this sacred agreement. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. This is the foundational heartbeat of the entire book of Deuteronomy. Moses commands the people to love the Lord their God with all their heart, soul, and unwavering physical strength. This is not a passive emotion, but a total commitment that must saturate every aspect of their daily existence. He instructs them to teach these words diligently to their children, ensuring the legacy of faith is passed down. They are to bind these truths to their hands and foreheads, making the divine word the filter for their lives. The love of God is the source of all true justice, compassion, and communal harmony in the land of promise. Without this central devotion, the nation will surely lose its identity and its divine protection from the world. Love is the ultimate fulfillment of the law and the key to their enduring success in the land. It is the bond that unites heaven and earth in a single powerful command of devotion. The discourse moves into the specific statutes that will govern their civil life, ensuring justice flows like a never-ending stream. Moses speaks of the protection for the widow, the orphan, and the stranger, building a society rooted in profound empathy. He details the sacredness of the Sabbath, the integrity of the marketplace, and the fair administration by righteous judges. The documentary visualizes a blueprint for a society that reflects the compassion and holiness of its creator in every way. These laws are designed to prevent the accumulation of wealth at the expense of others, maintaining equality among brothers. Prosperity is viewed not as a personal achievement, but as a communal blessing to be shared with those in need. By following these judgments, Israel will become a light to the nations, showing a better way to live. The land will flourish when the hearts of the people are turned toward the well-being of their neighbors. Justice is the cornerstone of the promise, a foundation that cannot be shaken by the winds of change. Purity is not just a ritual requirement, but a state of being that reflects the character of the holy God. Moses outlines the dietary laws and the practices that distinguish Israel from the pagan cultures that surround them. They are to be a kingdom of priests, a holy nation set apart for a specific and glorious purpose in history. Every action, from the food they eat to the way they worship, is an opportunity to honor their unique calling. This separation is not about arrogance, but about preserving the sacred relationship that gives them their very life. The avoidance of idolatry is emphasized as the primary defense against the spiritual decay that destroyed previous civilizations. By remaining pure, they ensure the continued presence of the divine among them, which is their greatest strength. The beauty of holiness is visible in the order and peace of their camp as they prepare to cross. Every detail of their lives is part of a grand design for spiritual excellence and national integrity. Moses sets before the assembly the stark reality of the blessings and the curses, the two paths of their destiny. He promises that obedience will bring rain in its season, abundant crops, and peace from the enemies on every side. However, he also warns with terrifying clarity that turning away to idols will lead to drought and eventual exile. The documentary captures the weight of this choice through cinematic imagery of both flourishing life and desolate destruction. See, I have set before you this day life and good, death and evil. The choice is yours forever. He pleads with the people to choose life, so that they and their descendants may continue to dwell in goodness. The covenant is a living responsibility that requires a daily renewal of commitment and a constant rejection of darkness. The future of the nation hangs in the balance of this single, monumental decision made by every individual. Choosing the light is the only way to sustain the fire of the promise through the long centuries ahead. The land flowing with milk and honey is described as a paradise of agricultural abundance and spiritual favor. Moses paints a picture of cities they did not build and vineyards they did not plant, all given by grace. The blessings of the covenant extend to every corner of their existence, from the fruit of the womb to the yield. They will be the head and not the tail, a nation respected and feared by all who witness their prosperity. This abundance is a testament to the faithfulness of the God who keeps his promises to 1,000 generations. The joy of the harvest becomes a sacred festival, a time to remember the source of all their good fortune. Every drop of rain and every grain of wheat is a visible sign of the divine favor that rests upon them. They are called to enjoy the goodness of the land while never forgetting the giver of the gift. The peace of the hills and the wealth of the valleys are the rewards of a heart aligned with truth. Prosperity is the fruit of their spiritual labor and the evidence of their covenantal integrity in the land. Before his departure, Moses composes a song that will serve as a witness against the people if they ever stray. This prophetic poetry recounts the faithfulness of God as the rock whose work is perfect and whose ways are just. It warns of the dangers of prosperity leading to forgetfulness and the subsequent judgments that would surely follow. The song is taught to the entire assembly, ensuring its warnings and promises are etched into their cultural memory. It is a masterpiece of divine perspective, spanning the entire history of the nation from its election to its destiny. The melody of the covenant echoes through the canyons of Moab, a haunting reminder of the stakes of their journey. Moses' voice remains strong as he declares the greatness of the God who kills and makes alive, who wounds and heals. This song is the final anchor for their souls, a spiritual compass for the turbulent times that lie ahead in Canaan. Every generation will sing these words, finding in them the strength to return to the path of righteousness. The prophetic witness is a gift of mercy, providing a way back to the heart of the Father for all. The time has come for the servant of the Lord to lay down his staff and pass the leadership to Joshua. Moses stands atop Mount Nebo, his eyes undimmed as he surveys the vast territory from Dan to the western sea. He sees the Jordan winding through the valley and the lush hills of Canaan, knowing his long purpose is fulfilled. He encourages Joshua to be strong and courageous, for the Lord himself will go before him into the new land. The mantle of leadership is transferred with a solemn blessing, ensuring the continuity of the mission for the people. Moses dies there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord, and his grave remains a mystery. His legacy is that of the greatest prophet, the one who spoke with the Almighty face to face as a true friend. The people stand ready at the river, the law is given, and the prophet has departed into the eternal rest. The history of Israel enters its next glorious chapter, guided by the memory of the one who led them home. Joshua looks upon the river, ready to lead the charge into the destiny that Moses so clearly defined for them. The book of Deuteronomy remains a timeless masterpiece of divine law and human responsibility for all generations. Its themes of love, justice, and the power of choice continue to resonate across the centuries to our present day. It challenges us to consider the foundations of our own societies and the commitments of our individual hearts. The words of Moses are not dead letters, but a living invitation to a life of profound purpose and spiritual depth. We are reminded that the greatest inheritance is not land or wealth, but a heart that is fully aligned with truth. As we look back on this epic journey, we see the blueprint for a flourishing life in any time or place. The covenant is still open, the choice is still ours, and the promise still awaits those who walk in the light. This book is a testament to the enduring love of a Creator who desires the best for His precious children. Every chapter is a milestone on the road to a better world, a society built on the pillars of holiness. The legacy of the plains of Moab continues to shape the conscience of the world through its powerful message. As we conclude this journey through Deuteronomy, may the lessons of the covenant resonate within your own path forward. The legacy of Moses reminds us that the greatest inheritance is a heart aligned with the divine will in every circumstance. Thank you for joining this cinematic experience. Until we meet again, walk in the strength of these ancient truths. Farewell on your journey to your own promised land, and may your path be guided by the light of the eternal law. May your life be a testament to the beauty of the covenant we have explored today together. Thank you.